I replaced the TCI box, making sure I got my spark plugs on. I'm gonna give it a start, see what she'll do. It'll probably rev up pretty high because I'll have the choke on, and if things start running the way it was adjusted before, it's probably gonna run away, so I might have to shut her down. Whoop, see that pedal? It wants to go, baby. We'll do that again. Make sure she gets filled up. Here we go. Got the choke on. Still sounds like one cylinder to me. Sounds worse than it was. That's not running. It was running on the front cylinder before I took it apart. Shit. That sucks. Well, it was running on two. Whoop. Maybe it was running on that one. Let's see. Maybe it's running on two. It's not running on that one. Yeah. So those two are running. Let's go gaggle up. I think this one's running. Yeah, that one's running. Come on. Let's choke it. Did I put the plug on right? Yeah. Okay, so when I replaced those diodes, I put it back in and ran it, and it was running the same way on only one or two cylinders. So I ended up hooking up the oscilloscope that I didn't bring this thing out since the 80s. I'm surprised it worked. But I was checking the waveforms from the inputs from the from the pickup coils against the outputs going to the coils. You know, the spark plug coils. And only number one looked somewhat like I thought it should look, because I don't really have a lot of history with these. So the other three, the outputs were not matching the inputs as far as the timing. You could see the pulse trigger coming in from the pickup coils, but the outputs were not triggering at that pulse. Something else was triggering them. So I looked at the board some more, and I ended up finding, I think it was over here, some discoloration on the contacts on the top side of the board and on the bottom. So I resoldered those, and I think that got all these waveforms looking like they should. The outputs were triggering at the same time the inputs were pulsing. So that was good, but I still got, now I still have the two large pilot jets in two of the carbs. For some reason, the right rear is not running at all. I see spark. I have a feeling I didn't clean the passages out good enough on that one. So I'm going to have to take the carbs all apart again, and I really don't feel like it. This will be the third time, but it's got to be done. So got to replace those two large jets, and then try to figure out what's going on with this right rear.
There's the signal from the coils. Here's the coil. Here's the output from the box to the coils. Now I took some of the front end apart to check some of these relays in here. That they get crappy, but evidently they're all right. There'd been some mice chewing in here. The guy before me or whoever fixed it. I might redo it, or at least wrap it in tape. But she's running on all fours, idling at 1,000 RPM. She's nice and smooth. Well, it's backfiring a bit because it's cold and I don't have the air filter box on, and there's no restriction on the air, so it's getting a lot of air and cold air. So I got the pilot screws backed out. Got the pilot screws backed out almost as far as they'll go before they come loose, because it needs a lot of fuel to idle in this situation. I think it'll smooth out when I get the air box on, and I'll be able to tweak those screws in farther. The fix on the ignition box worked. Found some bad joints on a certain board, and I soldered that up and put it back in, and then all the waveforms started looking good. So I'm happy about that. This thing will be a runner. I already took it for a ride. It's a lot peppier than it was. Still backfires. I think it's still running too lean. Whoa, it's gonna lose it. I think I need the air box on for one thing. It's looking sweet though. Okay, so I took the carbs apart. I replaced the 2 large jets that I had put in prior, and I put the originals back in with the smaller pilot jet holes. And then I just, for shits and grins, I took the other 2 apart also just to make sure everything was good, because I think this one was not getting fuel. And I swear I cleaned all those jets good, but I'm thinking maybe a piece of the hose, maybe one of these hoses, you know, because I'm taking the hose on and off. Could have got sucked in there. I think I'm gonna put a filter right up here if I could fit something in here, or somewhere near the carburetor. They filter it at the tank, and it goes up and around. And I kind of wanted to put one up here, but I don't know if it's gonna fit. So yeah, we're gonna start it up and see what's happening.